Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard Podcast. Today we're going to end your inner arguments, because your inner arguments, they lead to outer arguments, they lead to excuses, they lead to you just feeling like shit. And I'm not a fan of feeling like shit. So we're going to summarize it real quick here, then we'll dive into the podcast. The first thing I want you to do is instantly revise. The silence, the stillness that you are experiences the inner argument you have. Write that down. The silence that you are, the stillness that you are, experiences the inner argument that you have. Notice that stillness and you become the stillness instantly, because you always really are the stillness. The other thing is, all right, I want you to celebrate noticing, and I want you to imagine some kind of all right. I'm going to dive into how 4 people from the previous Triple D signed up for the next Triple D, like within 24 hours of me opening up the sales page. They had all right moments instead of excuses. You're living your entire life this way, gang. Either you're celebrating opportunity, all right, and grabbing it, or you're living with excuses. All right. Oh no. Let me find out why I can't. All right, 2 ways to live, gang. Let's dive in. Instantly revise. Don't let anything grow in your garden you don't want. Pull the weeds by planting seeds. Let's dive in. Alrighty, let's talk about instant revision, because Neville Goddard says, why not do as my friend does and revise the conversation as you hear it? And so one of the things that Victoria and I started doing, because, I went, wouldn't it be cool to use this on your inner conversations, not just the ones you have with someone else, the ones that you have with yourself, because inside of each of us, we've got the itty bitty shitty committee. And the itty bitty shitty committee, or your mother or your spouse, whoever's in your head, somebody's going to be in your head, in your head, in your head, head. Somebody will be. Some voice. And so we call this the inner argument ender. This will totally change your world. This does so much. But meanwhile, it's fascinating to me. You can watch people come up with an argument against anything, whether or not it's nice outside. Isn't it beautiful today? Oh, it's going to rain tomorrow. Well, good on you, right? Oh, this pizza's so yum. I had a really good pizza 35 years ago in New York City. It's really great to see you. Well, yeah, it's been a long time. Those little snide things, those are just symptoms of inner arguing. And some people do it all day long. Some people do it all night long. Some people do it for their entire lives. They're an argument against something. What they're doing is they're an argument against their happiness. And so I want you to stop doing that. See, so instead of settling for inner arguments, I'd love to join, but I'd love to invest, but, right? People tell me all the time, and it's like, look, if you took $1 a day and invested it, your whole life would change. And you can't tell me you don't have $1 a day. Right? Oh, well, but Mr. Twain, you wouldn't, I would understand. I grew up on welfare. I started out by investing $1 a day. That's how I changed my entire life. Marty Koss and I, we bought the Universal Bodybuilding System. We sold fossils door to door. We sold shit that we had as children. Right? We bought the Universal Bodybuilding Program, a 90-day adventure. Where do you think I got the idea? It changed my life. I went from being a 90-pound weakling to actually having some muscle and being able to pack a punch. But I appear to digress. Because I went from being the argument against myself to having, that kind of stuff. What if you went from inner arguments to inner, all right? You see, here's what's cool. Crass commercial. We opened up the doors for Dream Driven Day. We weren't going to do it in April. We were going to do it in June or July. And I admitted to a group that I was doing a training with, I'm a better human being whenever I'm doing trainings. It's what I'm designed to do. Waiting to work on a project, it just does my head in. I'm better as a teacher than I am as a developer. I'm just a better human being. So I said, I'm going to open up the doors for April 10th. I put up the sales page and we had 5 people register immediately. Right? 4 of them were in the previous course. 1 of them's brand new. Right? All right. You see the doors open? They went, all right. Other people go, well, the doors are open. And then they discover what's the argument going to be. And I want you to notice, what are you basing your lifestyle on? Because I'm going to go to the markets shortly. It's Sunday in Melbourne, Australia. And on Sundays, we've got the outdoor markets. And I love the outdoor markets. And I never know who's going to be there. And I go there and I go, all right. I get excited because I can buy some really cool shit. Like, there's a lady there that makes Sri Lankan banana leaf meals. She's not always there. When she is, I go, all right. Right? That's my lifestyle. See, when an opportunity presents itself, do you go, all right? Or do you go, oh, well, that's a lot of money compared to if I did something else I could eat for $4 cheaper that day. Yeah, and eat shit food. Right? You want to know why you feel like shit? You're imagining shit and eating shit. Stop it. But Mr. 20, you wouldn't understand. Yes, I would. Yes, I do. At some point, and here's the big thing, we're going to talk about instant revision. When you notice an argument going on inside of you, stop, be still, have a giggle, celebrate noticing, and then imagine up an aha or a hoo-ha or an all right. That's my favorite. Skip the first couple. Ready? As soon as you notice that inner argument, immediately go into that. You just be still for a second. Don't take long. Because as soon as you notice it, it's the stillness that notices it. You get to go, all right. And then imagine up something yummy. So I actually did this the other week. I was at the outdoor market. And the Sri Lankan lady was there. And I wanted 2 of her fish meals. She makes it's a fish with a curry. It's a different fish every time. She makes it with a different kind of thing, like a bean or something every time, or a lentil. She makes it with red rice or white rice. I'm a fan of the red rice. And I went up and I said, hey, give me 2 of those fish ones with the red rice. And she goes, I'm out of the red. And I could have gone into inner argument because there's 3 other vendors there I can get shit from. I could have gone into inner argument. And I just imagined, all right. I could have gone into inner argument. What else do I get from her? What do I get from someone else? I'll be back. Let me think about it. You know, it's a lot of money if I'm not getting exactly what I want. I just went right into, all right. And she gets in her cooler and says, oh my God, I've got 2 extras here. I'll give you those. She had them. She didn't know she had them. I moved into, all right. Meanwhile, I go to the pool, and in the pool in comes a guy. Right? Not in the mood to listen to his repetitive shit. All right. Right? So as soon as he comes in, I'm going, all right, where do I go? What do I do? Or maybe I'll just flag him off and leave 10 minutes early, whatever. But instead, I pruned the vine. Right? I went inside, I stopped all that. I celebrated noticing I'm having an inner argument against him, against wasting my time with him. And I went into, all right. And he never came over. He got stuck yakking to someone else. It was wonderful for me. Right? This is what's cool, gang. When you notice that inner argument, I'll share it one more time. Notice the stillness that notices it. Stop and be still. Notice the stillness that notices you're in inner argument. That's the silence of you. At that point, all right. Celebrate noticing and move right into imagining something lovely. I imagine doing my exercises in peace at the pool. The grumpy guy never even came over. Usually he makes a beeline right for me. Anyway. If you got gold today, end those inner arguments with an all right. Don't wait to the end of the argument. And by the way, it's all right to tell people to shut up. It's okay to tell yourself that. Believe me, you're too busy being polite to yourself. You let yourself complete the argument. You wonder why you feel like shit. Then you try to imagine something lovingly instead of celebrating noticing. All right. I think the crass commercial for this was supposed to be for Dream Driven Day. The doors are open. I'm also going to suggest ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. If you haven't done that, start today, because that first week is all about ending triggers. And most of your triggers just come from inner commentary. And we spend a whole week demolishing those. Because if you don't demolish those first, all this imagining you're forcing is force. And when you imagine up forcefully, you get more force. On the other hand, whenever you stop and be still, celebrate noticing, all right, that inner argument dies. And you win. You live. All right. If you got gold today, if you're just starting out, ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. If you want to celebrate, if you want to join in Dream Driven Day, join us in DreamDrivenDay.com. Have a great day. See ya.